Marcelino, what do you see as the #1 problem facing MHCC next year?
Next year, I think it won't be a problem, but I think that one of the things that we're going to hear about a lot is contracts and negotiation between the faculty. And I think that setting the tone at the beginning of the year for how student government will react to those negotiations is critical, because we need to keep students informed about what's going on, and we need to be out there voicing their opinions, sitting in board meetings, giving the board the information that students are concerned about, and just going back to the presidential proposal, budget proposal, bringing up the 30-30-10% plan, and addressing that to all students. So yeah, like I said, setting the tone for the contract negotiations the next year, I think will be critical.
Antonio, what will you do to ensure the implementation and growth of a diversity resource center?
I think there's many of us here who have seen the process, and there's only a few of us who have been through the process. So I think that's very important to know. I think that the first thing that we need to do is really emphasize on what diversity really means. It's not the dictionary definition of diversity. It's not about skin color. It's not about race. It's about who we are. It's about what we like. It's about what we believe. And we need to emphasize on that, communicate it to students, and have them get involved with it in order to this project to be successful. Thank you.
All right, last round of questions. Sadaf, what will you do to, excuse me. How will you advocate for more grants for students and for higher education?
Like Eric and I have talked about getting the local businesses more involved and donating and seeing that our students have a lot of potential, and then supporting those students, be like, hey, I will give you, if you can't afford to go to school, we will give you, this amount of money, so you don't have to quit, quit school, so you can actually make money. And just getting involved with the community, local businesses, and getting the community involved, so knowing that our students can succeed and further their education, so we can all have a better future. Thank you.
Garrett, what would be your main goal if elected as vice president?
My main goal is nothing in particular, but more of a concept, more of keep asking questions, keep pressuring the president, keep pressuring my fellow ASG members to improve upon what they're doing, and to ask themselves, is what you're doing right now actually effective? Is what you're doing right now helpful for everyone? So I think it's important for me as vice president to keep on asking those questions, pushing people, how can we make things better, more effective for everyone? And not only ask the president and my fellow ASG members, but ask the students, how are we affecting you? Is it effective? What do you want? Thank you.
Natalia, what is your personal definition of ethical decision making?
I've been an introvert most of my life, and most of my life has been around what other people want, and that's what I want to bring to this table. What do the students want as a collective? I've always focused on what the group wants more than individuals, because together we make the whole. Thank you.
Marcelino, how would you define the role of ASG Vice President, and what specific tasks would you be responsible for?
I would define the role as vice president as I think they mentioned this before, as like, you know, the junior coach, or like, you know, as a coach, they're like, you know, I want to lead by example, because that's the way I am. Like, I lead by example. I want to be understanding of others. I'm very, I tend to work in a harmonic way. Like, you know, I lead by example. I like, you know, I like that tone of leading by example. And I think that I'll be the voice of students, and I know how to run meetings on parliamentary procedure, and that's what we use for Senate meetings. And I think conducting those meetings and making sure that they run efficiently and that we get things done during those meetings. Thanks.
Antonio, what do you see as the #1 problem facing MHCC next year?
The #1 problem facing Mhcc next year, I think it's actually a combination of two things: a budget crisis and a potential strike year. I think those are the two main ones that we're probably going to be facing. And I'll just leave you with the question: do we want on-job training, or do we want experience? Thank you.
Jake, what will you do to ensure the implementation and growth of a diversity resource center?
Well, as far as implementation, it sounds like we already got some good stuff going, which is good. Definitely want to support that. And then just as far as the growth, I think it just goes back to the overall awareness and communication of everything here on campus. It's just another thing that definitely needs to be promoted. I mean, yeah, we're definitely all diverse, so it's something that I think appeals to pretty much everybody. So definitely we'll do our best to get the word out about that as well.
Thank you, candidates. And that concludes our question and answer section for today's debates. And we're going to move on to the closing statements. Each ticket will have 3 minutes to deliver a closing statement. And we'll start with ticket #1. Garrett?
Thank you. Let's try to end this a little bit better than when we started today. If elected, Tobin and I really want to make sure to keep ASG grounded. We don't want to be setting our sights too high, to really big goals that we want to attain that really may not be realistic in a one-year term with just Tobin and I there. We want to expand on the programs that are already here. Of course, big topic today was awareness. We want to bring more awareness to everything. People just need to realize that there's a lot going on here, and there's more that could be done if we just focus already on the things that are happening. That's about it. We just really, really, really want to build upon what has already been constructed here. Thank you.